Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I am going to be sharing with you part 3 of my getting our house ready to sell series. Today I'm going to be painting our kitchen cabinet doors as well as decluttering the TV stand in our entryway just because we are selling that before we move. So if you guys would like to see how I got all that done, then just keep watching. First, I'm just showing you guys how I took the hardware off the cabinet doors. It was pretty easy. I just unscrewed both the top and the bottom and then was able to pop them off. It was a little difficult and time consuming because the screws were pretty stuck in there. Next, I am just taking my cleaner and spraying the cabinet doors in order to wash them. This is just the water mix with 5 guards that I use. The top cabinets weren't very dirty, so I just felt like I could get away with a light clean just to make sure that they were dust-free, dirt-free, grime-free before I started painting. So this is the paint that I am using. It is the Valspar Semi-Gloss and the color is High Hiding White. Our realtor actually left this for us. She said that she used it for one of her own projects and she had a little bit left over. So she did leave it for us to paint some of the trim that I showed you guys in the other 2 videos that just looked awful, and I decided to go ahead and paint the cabinet doors as well. We had a few showings prior to the house being listed on the market, and people who saw it were complaining a lot about the kitchen and how not only did the appliances need to be upgraded, the cabinets needed to be painted. So I figured I would go ahead and try and do that to kind of take some of the brunt work off of them. Now, I've literally never painted anything in my life other than like art stuff. So I was completely like beginner, newbie, had no idea what I was doing. If I had to do this again, I would definitely do this with a roller instead of a paintbrush. The paintbrush did leave a lot of streaks, so I felt like I had to paint over everything more than one time. I just feel like the roller would have been more cohesive and made it look a little bit more nice, but the end result is amazing. And even right here you can see like how different the cabinet doors look from the 2 that I have painted to the ones on the other side that are still like gross and yellow looking. Here I kind of just wanted to show again how different the cabinet doors look in comparison to the ones that haven't been painted. Honestly, like in person, I never really realized how bad the cabinets were. Obviously they're a different color. We kind of just thought that they were meant to be like that, like they were meant to be two-toned because of how different the tones were. But honestly, I think they were just dirty. And this is after I had painted all of them. They're still drying, so that's why they look a little splotchy. And then I had reattached the hardware just because we were going to have to be getting ready for school in the morning, and I didn't want people like trying to get into the cabinets without the handles. Fast forward a few days later, and I am finally getting started on the bottom cabinetry. So the bottom cabinets I did spray with the Clorox cleaner just because they were a lot more dirty. They do catch most of the fallout from like people spilling juice or food or oil or water or whatever. So they did need to be wiped down with something a little bit more heavy than just the water and 5 guards. And then I'm just going right in and painting. As you can see, I did not remove the hardware for the bottom, and that was just me being lazy. It took forever to get all of the handles off and then put them back on. So I decided I was just going to paint around them this time. It did make for more tedious painting whenever I did have to get around the handles and underneath them, but the paint was very forgiving. I just had to wipe it away with a wet paper towel and it came right off. And then after it had dried, I also noticed that any of the spots that accidentally remained after I thought I wiped it all away, I was able to easily just scratch it off. So 10 out of 10, like if you are planning to live in your house forever, do not do that. Just take the handles off. It's going to be nicer, but again, we're selling the house and whoever buys it is probably just going to repaint the cabinets anyway, but just to have them look nicer for the people who are coming to look at it, this took less time, was less work, and it still looks really good. Here is the kitchen after all of the cabinet doors have been painted. The cabinet doors are a little bit brighter than the actual cabinets themselves. However, it matches a lot better than the yellow that the doors were before. And I think, you know, with time, if whoever buys the house doesn't paint the cabinets, they'll kind of end up meshing together anyway. But it does look so much better. And the people who came to view the house after I had painted the cabinets actually liked the kitchen a little bit better. The only thing that they did have to say about it was that they would need to upgrade the appliances. So painting the cabinet doors did wonders. Now we are out in the entryway, and this is the TV stand that I am going to be decluttering. In our previous house, this was actually the TV stand that was in the master bedroom. However, in this house and in whatever house we move into next, I have a feeling that the bedroom is going to be so much smaller. I don't have a TV stand in the bedroom right now, so we kept this out in the entryway, and it has just become a catch-all for everything. There's literally everything in here, so I'm just gonna take everything out and go through it. Mostly everything that is in here is either arts and crafts stuff, or it is stuff that I have to use for school. So I am kind of separating it into piles first. Right now I'm just looking through coloring books and seeing which ones I want to keep and which ones I want to throw away. And then I am going to start reorganizing everything back on the shelves. I ended up putting all of the stuff I use for teaching up on that top shelf, and that's really just like paper, laminating sheets, my laminator, stuff like that. And then in the middle shelf is kind of where I decided to keep extra paper, as well as any of like our important documents that are just not in the bedroom for whatever reason. And then in the bottom is where I decided to put like the paints and the markers and the paintbrushes and everything, because the kids do come out and need to use that stuff sometimes for school. I do like to make sure I keep some sort of art supplies in the house so that whenever they do have projects or need things like that, or if they just want to color, paint, or draw, they have access to these things instead of having to go out and repurchase them every time they want to do something like that. I'm not sure if you can tell by all of the paper I have, but I am literally one of the laziest craft people ever. I am constantly buying craft supplies with the intention of doing amazing things, but I just never get around to it, so they kind of just sit in here. But I am glad that I went through this stand, because there was a lot of paper that I was actually looking for at one point in time and I couldn't find it, and it's here, so now I know where it is and I can use it for the next time I have a craft. On the other side of the shelf, I have a bunch of toys that we are actually going to be donating to the baby's daycare. We also have some toys and like outdoor things that we're supposed to do. I also have some confetti cannons, but we donated those to Goodwill. I decided to keep this Play-Doh mat because Jackson will be growing up at some point in time, and Play-Doh is always a phase. This I'm going to end up donating, and then there was a little baby, it was like a water mat that I also want to donate just because he didn't really use it. This was actually a roll of counter cover that we were going to use whenever we wanted to redo our countertops because we didn't like how they looked, but we didn't end up using that, and so that's kind of just gone to waste. But again, I am just clearing out these shelves. The Huggies box is actually a bunch of crafting supplies. These are supplies that I have collected over the years, and I use them for things like scrapbooking or whenever I made my DIY Christmas countdown calendar, my Halloween countdown calendar. I've got a ton of like stickers and stencils in there. And then this is also the stuff that whenever my kids need some stuff for like school projects, we can come in this box, and I usually have some sort of something, but I did not want to get rid of any of the stuff in here really, so I kind of just reorganized it and made it to where everything could fit into the box better. I put the stickers in that sticker folder that you saw earlier, that blue and gold folder, and then just kind of packed everything back up, but put it together in categories. Now I'm just going through all of the paint, seeing what paint is good and what's not. I'm throwing away the stuff that's not, and I'm putting the stuff that is back in the bag so it can go back in the box. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Again, it was just me trying to help us get our house sold faster, as well as doing a little bit of decluttering so that whenever it's time to pack, we're not decluttering and packing at the same time, because that always makes everything a little bit more difficult. If you have been enjoying this series, please make sure you give the video a thumbs up just so that I know this is the kind of content you are wanting to see. If you do have any video ideas, requests, suggestions, please leave them in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye!